Good morning. My name is Troy Kreider, and I lead the Awakening Recovery Ministry here at Northlands Church with a great team. Just October 27th, we put together a major event that we called Awaken the City. We held it in the auditorium, and we made it available to people in recovery that are beyond just a few programs that collaborate with us each Thursday night. The goal of this meeting was to facilitate an experience where God would begin to awaken the city back to life, specifically those people who were in recovery. In order to pull this off, we needed to raise some money. In fact, the amount that it took to raise the money would be equivalent to what some people would need to buy a car. And this actually sparked a debate between us on our team. There's one couple people that were thinking that, like, hey, we should really consider raising money to buy a car. Is this event worth happening? And while we agreed with them that helping people get a car was important, we chose to go in the direction of this event. And the cool thing about it was we knew that if God wanted to help someone have a car, He could do that, and perhaps we would pursue that another time. But something amazing happened. Just a couple of days before the big event, we got a phone call, my wife and I, from a couple that we're friends with at a different church. And they said, hey, we heard about your ministry. We know the great work you're doing. We'd like to give one of our cars to you. We want to be able to help someone who has a need and help them get back on their feet. And we were just in awe. We looked at each other and we immediately remembered that conversation. And this showed that God truly was providing for us, and He was with us in putting together this big event. And part of the event had to do with a bumper video. While I was on an extended fast, the dream came to me that we should put together a bumper video highlighting the overdose crisis that's happening in our area, but also showing that there's hope because God is on the move. And that's exactly what we did. And we had Jenny Schmidt and Dan Glaze participate in this, and it was a hit. This video absolutely gripped the people's hearts, moved them to tears, and a lot of people came away feeling comforted in their grief, but energized towards hope that Jesus is making people alive. We wanted to invite the wider recovery community first before we open it up just to people who needed to hear the gospel, which means we put limits on how and who we would invite. Turns out God showed up. He was faithful to the invitations that we were extending, and 275 people showed up. We had 5 programs that brought residents to our event, and it was just so cool to see people come together for a common cause at our event, Awaken the City. Just 3 hours prior to the event, someone asked, hey, will there be food for our program? And we thought about it, and we were like, yeah, why not? Let's make some food or get some pizza together and serve first come, first serve the people who would come. So we ended up being able to serve 125 people with just 3 hours notice, all due to the awesome team that we have of people working together. And one of the beautiful things that came in this meeting was the ministries that locked arms, came together for a common cause. The unity that was demonstrated that night was just astonishing. We had ministries such as the media team, the welcome team, the host team, and the worship team to make this an excellent event. And they responded so well. This was a different kind of venue for them, and the maturity that they displayed in the moment, adapting to the crowd, was just amazing. And special shout out to Heidi, who was feeling a little bit under the weather, but pushed through and did just such a great job. We appreciate all the worship team that was part of that night. And lastly, we had Mr. Robert Borelli flying in to share his story. He came from the mafia lifestyle, was in active addiction for many years, and eventually found himself in Rikers Island Correctional Facility, where he would experience encountering Jesus that literally created a brand new life for him. And when he told his story, it absolutely gripped the hearts of everyone that was there. They were leaning in, and the message of the gospel and the ministry of reconciliation began to flow in a powerful way. At the end, we called on the audience who was attending to respond, to believe in Jesus for the first time, or if they knew him at one point but walked away, it's time to come back to him. And we know of at least 13 people that responded to that call, and even more were responding in their seats as we welcomed them to meet with him just right where they're at in the comfort of their seat. And this was an absolute hit. We can't wait for Awaken the City 2023. We're going to do it again, and we're believing for even bigger and better things. It was so cool to see that Mr. Borelli said out of all the times that he's traveled through all the churches he's been through across the nation, our venue was hands down one of the best experiences he's ever had. And this makes sense because at Northlands, we desire and are a community where warriors can come to drink and be refreshed on the journey that God has for them. We love you guys. Thanks for everyone who participated, and we can't wait to do it again.